We sure are not going to miss Senator Jim Bunning, the Republican from Kentucky who will not run for a third term this year and is bitter about it because he says the Republican leaders in the Senate have tried to dry up his fundraising. But what excuse can be made for a senator so bitter or stubborn or mean-spirited that he decides to be the lone holdout for extending short-term unemployment benefits to the millions unemployed in the worst recession since the Great Depression? Senator Bunning resisted repeated attempts to pass the bill last night by unanimous consent, which was necessary because so many senators had already left town for the weekend unaware that Bunning was going to block a bill that everyone else was in favor of. The bill would extend unemployment benefits set to expire on Sunday, but it would also extend health insurance assistance for people who have lost their jobs. But Bunning was not budging and even mentioned how he was sacrificing because he was missing a college basketball game.
I want to assure the people that have watched this thing till 11:45, and I have missed the Kentucky-South Carolina game that started at 9 o'clock, and it's the only redeeming chance we had to beat South Carolina, since they're the only team that has beat Kentucky this year. And all of these things that we have talked about and all the provisions that have been discussed, the unemployment benefits, all these things, if we'd have taken the longer version of the job bill, that was a mutually agreed on bipartisan bill, we wouldn't have spent 3 hours plus, almost 3.5, telling everybody in the United States of America that Senator Bunning doesn't give a damn about the people that are on unemployment.
At one point, when Senator Bunning was sitting in the back row of the chamber, he was asked by 2 Democratic senators to drop his objection to the bill. Bunning was overheard saying, "Tough blank." So the Senate adjourned today, and the bill will have to wait until Tuesday when the Senate again has enough members to bypass Bunning. Meantime, some of those benefits will lapse. Senator Dick Durbin, exasperated, said, quote, "I just don't think that one senator ought to be able to heap this kind of suffering and misfortune on people who are already struggling in this economy." And Bunning's stunt drew this response from White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs.
The White House would call on Senator Bunning to agree to even vote on his own proposal so that the Senate and the House don't leave town with the health care benefits and the unemployment benefits of those that have lost their jobs, we would not see those expire over this past weekend.
Let's bring in the Washington bureau chief for Mother Jones, also a columnist for Politics Daily, David Corn. David, the first part of the story is obviously Senator Bunning. Now, there is always a silliest senator in the body. Bunning has been that man for quite a while now, but no one, even knowing him as they do, no one saw this coming. I mean, in the list of Bunning craziness, is this about the nuttiest thing he's done on the Senate floor?
This is the biggest curveball or knuckle-headed pitch of his career. I mean, he was a Hall of Famer baseball legend. He had the second number of strikeouts, highest number of strikeouts when he left the game. And he's gone from Hall of Fame to Hall of Shame. It was a massive blunder on his part, but as you've noted, he doesn't seem to care. He's not running for re-election, but he hasn't seemed to care for years. He's known in the Senate for not giving a damn about what's going on. He missed the historic vote vote on health care reform. Last year, he disappeared from the chamber for a week without explaining it. There's a long history of Bunning bizarro behavior, and this is the culmination. He really hit it over the fences on this move last night.
And you would think that maybe unemployment is running around 2% in Kentucky, but no, it's up over 10, over the national average rate.
In some counties,
and Harry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, in some counties, it's even much higher than that in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. And did the Democrats and Harry Reid maybe miss a chance here to stay on the floor with him and highlight Republican intransigence through this one senator blocking something that 99 senators want?
Well, I spoke to some Democrats about that. They took several runs at trying to persuade him to be reasonable, and he kept saying no, no, no. They could have tried to invoke cloture and stay, keep in the session, but they're coming back, they say, on Monday, not just even on Tuesday, to work on a long-term plan to extend benefits for a year, not just for a month, and that this will sort of incorporate what they did. It seems to me that Bunning did a pretty good job of drawing attention to himself. I'm not sure how much more there was to gain by the Democrats keeping the Senate in session to make Bunning look even more foolish than he did.
Now, even though Republicans know he is their greatest embarrassment in the Senate, and they begged him not to run for re-election, the party leadership, still, we had Republicans go out there and say positive things about him. You had Senator Corker saying that the holdout, the one-man holdout, he said about that, that's something we honor in this body. Well, it's something that they have to live with in the body, but most of them do not honor it when 99 want to pass something and one doesn't. I mean, if they if they stayed out there with Bunning, wouldn't we get more of these kind of lame statements from Republicans?
Well, I think what happened, you heard a tremendous deafening silence. I mean, this happened last night, and so we've had almost a whole day now. And where are the Republican leaders denouncing Bunning or criticizing him? They are not there. They've run for cover. Corker did defend him, and this is what's stunning is that they basically don't like Bunning to begin with. He's been at odds with his Senate Republican leadership for a very good reason, and here he pulls this boneheaded move. And they still can't come out and say, we disagree, we want to come back in and work in a bipartisan manner with the Democrats to get this thing done. So I think,
David Corn of Mother Jones. We're going to wrap it there, David. David Corn of Mother Jones, thank you very much for coming in tonight.
Sure thing, Lawrence.